Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are wading into waters that I think every single person listening has dipped their toes into, probably without even realizing the mechanics of what was happening beneath the
Well, for
surface.
sure.
If you have ever booked a hotel, or, if you've ever been on the other side of that front desk running a business, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We were talking about the review economy.
It's a fascinating ecosystem. It really has become an economy of its own.
How so?
Well, it has its own currency, which is stars, its own inflation, its own, market crashes. And frankly, it has its own winners and losers.
And the stakes, they feel incredibly high these days. We have, a massive stack of research today. We're looking at studies from the Cornell School of Hotel Administration. We have data from Expedia and Booking.com and some really tactical playbooks for hoteliers.
Right.
And honestly, the central theme here is a bit terrifying. It's this massive shift from the old school word of mouth, your neighbor telling you, hey, that B&B was nice, to digital feedback from absolute strangers.
Strangers who, it turns out, hold an immense amount of power. I mean, it used to be that if you had a bad experience, you told, 10 friends?
Right, maybe.
Now you tell 10,000 strangers instantly.
Right. And the sources we're unpacking today suggest that how a business responds to those strangers, specifically the angry ones, can literally make or break the bank account.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about feelings anymore. It's about revenue protection.
That is not an exaggeration. I mean, the days of just being nice are over. We are looking at data today that turns being nice into a hard operational workflow.
My workflow, I like that.
We're talking about a system to win back trust and, quite frankly, secure your profit margins.
So the mission for this deep dive is pretty specific then. We aren't just going to sit here and say reviews matter. I think if you're listening to this, you know they matter.
Of course, that's table stakes.
We are going to unpack the how to craft the perfect reply, the weird psychology behind why we even write them, and the specific rules for the different platforms. Because apparently you can't treat Google the same way you treat TripAdvisor.
No, absolutely not. That is a classic rookie mistake.
Really?
Each platform has its own algorithm, its own culture, and its own rules of engagement. It's a whole different battlefield.
But before we get into the tactical how-to, the real nitty-gritty, we have to kind of eat our vegetables and look at the scary stats.
The scary stats, yes.
You found some numbers in the research that actually made me physically wince.
I did, and wince is the appropriate reaction here. We need to look at customer attrition data first. The research shows that a single negative review, just one bad write-up sitting at the top of your feed, it can drive away approximately 22% of potential customers.
Let's just pause on that. 22%. That is nearly a quarter of your potential business just evaporating because one person had a bad day.
And it gets worse.
Oh, great.
That's just one review. If you have 3 negative reviews visible at the top, that number jumps to 59%.
59, that's not real.
It is. Nearly 6 out of 10 people looking at your listing will click away without even considering you.
Wow.
You are essentially invisible to the majority of the market at that point. You aren't even in the consideration set.
That is brutal. It makes you feel like you're walking on eggshells constantly.
Yeah.
One grumpy guest, one, cold cup of coffee, and you lose half your future bookings. It feels unfair.
It does feel unfair. It feels volatile, but this is where we have to, flip the script.
Okay.
The sources also highlight a concept that I think is the most hopeful part of this entire deep dive. It's called the service recovery paradox.
I love a good paradox. It usually means something counterintuitive is going on.
Yeah.
So break this down for us.
Okay, so the service recovery paradox is this phenomenon where a guest who experiences a failure, say the AC is broken or the room wasn't ready upon arrival.
Right, the usual stuff.
The usual stuff. But if you have that problem resolved quickly and effectively, that guest often becomes more loyal than a guest who never had a problem at all.
Wait, really? So if I screw up, but I fix it like a pro, they actually like me more than if I had just been perfect from the start.
That's the paradox. Exactly.
That seems wild. Why? What's the psychology there?
Because a perfect stay is passive. Think about it. You check in, the room is clean, you sleep, you check out. It's a transaction.
You got what you paid for.
You got what you paid for. But a recovered stay, that is an interaction. You've demonstrated care. You've demonstrated competence under pressure.
You've built a relationship.
You built a relationship. You went from being a vendor to being a human.
Ah.
The goal of this deep dive isn't to pretend mistakes don't happen. They will. It's about turning those service failures into what the sources call a loyalty gold mine.
A loyalty gold mine. That is a much more optimistic way to frame it. It's not about perfection, it's about recovery. But let's talk hard cash. We mentioned the Cornell study in the intro. This seems to be the gold standard for proving the ROI of reputation management.
It is. The Cornell School of Hotel Administration did a really fascinating study linking the Global Review Index, or GRI, to financial performance.
GRI, okay.
Now, for those who don't know, the GRI is basically a benchmark score for your online reputation across all platforms.
So it's like your credit score, but for hospitality.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. And what they found was that a mere 1-point increase in a hotel's GRI correlates to significant financial gains.
Give us the numbers. What is a single point worth?
So a 1-point increase correlates to a 0.89% increase in price, or ADR, average daily rate.
Okay.
It also correlates to a 0.54% increase in occupancy. And when you combine those, you get a 1.42% increase in RevPAR.
RevPAR, which is revenue per available room.
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. To the layperson, 1.4% sounds small. It sounds like a rounding error.
It sounds small until you apply it to revenue. Let's do the math, right?
Okay.
If you are a hotel making, say, $5 million a year, which is a decent-sized independent hotel, a 1.42% increase is roughly $71,000 in pure revenue.
$71,000.
That's essentially pure profit margin growth just for managing your reputation better. You didn't build a new wing, you didn't renovate the lobby, you just improved your score.
Okay, when you put it that way, 70 grand just for better typing and better service, that's substantial.
And remember, that's just for a 1-point increase. If you can move your score up 5 points, the impact compounds. It basically gives you what the industry calls pricing power.
Pricing power. I like that term. So because my reviews are better, I can charge more and people will still book.
Precisely. In fact, some of the data suggests that if you increase your review score by 1 full point on a 5-point scale, like going from a 3.3 to a 4.3 on TripAdvisor,
A big jump.
a huge jump, you can increase your price by over 11% and still maintain the same market share.
11%. That is massive.
People will pay a premium to avoid the risk of a bad experience. That is the review economy in a nutshell.
Right.
We pay for safety. We pay for the assurance that we won't arrive to a dirty room. We aren't just buying a bed. We are buying peace of mind.
So the financial incentive is massive. We've established that. But to get those scores up, you have to engage with the reviews. You have to get into the mud, so to speak.
You do.
And this is where it gets complicated because, as you said, not all review platforms are created equal.
No, they are definitely not. And treating them all the same is where a lot of businesses fail. You have to know your battlefield.
Let's start with the big one, the new heavyweight, Google.
Google has really changed the game. I mean, it used to be all about TripAdvisor. If you were in hospitality, TripAdvisor was God.
Sure.
But Google has surpassed them in sheer volume. And the key thing to understand about Google is the local pack.
Local pack, is that a feature?
It's those 3 businesses that pop up on the map when you search hotels near me, or best B&B in Chicago. You know the box I'm talking about.
Right, right. The map view at the top of the search results before you even scroll down to the normal links.
Exactly. Reviews directly impact your SEO visibility there. If you aren't responding or if your rating dips, you drop out of that pack.
And that's a death sentence.
And if you aren't in the pack, for a mobile user, you basically don't exist. They aren't going to click more places and scroll to page 2. No way.
And Google is strict about how you appear there, right? I saw something in the notes about keyword stuffing.
Oh, very strict. They want clean data. Your business name must match your real-world signage exactly.
So you can't get clever.
No. You can't name your listing Best Hotel in London with free Wi-Fi and breakfast if your sign outside just says The London Inn.
They'll catch you.
They will suspend you. And getting reinstated on Google My Business is a nightmare you do not want to experience. It can take weeks, and during that time, you are invisible. But the other trap on Google, and this is really relevant right now with all the AI tools, is the boilerplate trap.
This sounds like something related to AI.
It is. It's relevant for everyone using AI tools, yes.
Yeah.
Google's AI is aggressive in filtering spam. If you just copy-paste "thanks for staying" on every single 5-star review,
Yeah.
Google's algorithm looks at that and says, this looks like bot behavior.
Because it's too repetitive.
Exactly. It looks unnatural. So they might flag those reviews as spam or simply suppress them so they don't help your ranking.
No, they're not even counted.
They might not be. They want authentic engagement.
That is a huge warning flag. So being lazy or trying to be too efficient actually hurts your visibility.
If you look like a bot, they treat you like a bot.
What about visuals? I feel like Google Maps is becoming more like Instagram these days.
It is. Google Lens and what they call story-like photo reviews are becoming key ranking signals.
What does that mean, story-like?
It means guests are uploading photos with context, and Google is prioritizing reviews that have that visual proof. So as an owner, you have to be monitoring the photos, not just the text.
Because if someone posts a photo of a dirty bathroom, that is sticking to your listing like glue.
Right. And conversely, if people are posting beautiful photos of your breakfast, you want to acknowledge that in your reply. Great shot of the avocado toast. It signals to the algorithm that the visual content is relevant and positive.
Okay, so that's Google. Be real, be visual, don't spam, and pray you stay in the local pack. What about the old guard? TripAdvisor, is it still relevant?
Absolutely. If Google is for volume, TripAdvisor is for high intent.
High intent, what does that mean?
Think about the user's mindset. People on Google might just be browsing, looking for directions, maybe vaguely interested.
Right.
People on TripAdvisor, they are ready to book. They are doing deep research. They are reading 10, 20 reviews. They are looking for reasons not to book your hotel.
So the stakes are higher with each reader?
Much higher. But TripAdvisor has a specific danger zone that stresses out a lot of managers. The no edit rule.
Oh, I can feel the anxiety just hearing that.
It should stress you out. Once a management response is posted on TripAdvisor, it cannot be edited. There is no oops button.
So if you make a typo,
You have to delete the whole response and repost.
or if you get a fact wrong, like you accuse the guest of staying in room 202 when they're actually in room 204.
You have to delete the response and repost it. And that is risky because it can mess with the algorithm, or it just looks messy if users saw the first one. You have to be precise. You have to draft it, read it again, and then hit submit.
And there's a delay, right? It's not instant like Twitter or something.
Correct. Responses often take up to 48 hours to appear due to their moderation process.
48 hours.
Yeah, they have humans and bots checking for guidelines. So you can't have a real-time argument, which, by the way, you should never do anyway.
We'll get to that.
But it means you don't get that instant gratification of fixing the record. You post your defense, and then you sit there for 2 days just waiting for it to show up.
That sounds nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get to the no arguing rule soon. But first, let's talk about the OTAs. The online travel agencies, Expedia, Booking.com.
Right.
These are the ones where you have to verify you actually stayed there to write a review.
Right, the verified fortress. These reviews carry a lot of weight because they're harder to fake. You can't just have your cousin write one,
Right.
But they work differently. Booking.com has shifted its scoring model to heavily favor recency.
So the review from 3 years ago doesn't matter.
Barely. Booking.com essentially says, we don't care that you were great in 2022. Are you great today?
Wow.
Reviews are often only accepted within 3 months of a stay, and old reviews drop off the scoring impact much faster than on Google. You can't rest on your laurels.
It keeps you on the treadmill.
It does. But Expedia has a feature that I think is fascinating. It's almost like a game mechanic. It's called the 14-day blind window.
This sounds like a reality TV show twist. Explain how this works.
It's actually a brilliant piece of engineering for fairness. On Expedia, once a review is submitted by a guest, the hotel has 14 days to respond before both the review and the response are published simultaneously.
Oh, that is interesting. So the public doesn't see the bad review immediately.
Exactly. It gives the hotel breathing room. It prevents that immediate knee-jerk retaliatory situation. You know, a guest threatens you in the lobby and posts it 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
Usually you'd be panicking. But here you have time to cool down, investigate, and craft the perfect response.
So you aren't panic replying at 2 in the morning.
No, you can check the logs, you can talk to the housekeeper, you can find out what really happened. So when it goes live, the public sees the complaint and the solution at the exact same moment.
That changes the strategy completely. It turns reputation management from a fire drill into a strategic operation.
Yes. It allows you to control the narrative much more effectively. You aren't playing defense. You are presenting a complete picture.
So we know the terrain now. We have Google the strict giant, TripAdvisor the permanent record, and Expedia the blind strategist. Now we have to actually write the thing.
Right.
And this brings us to the psychology of the reply.
This is where most business owners get it wrong. And it's not their fault, really. It's human nature.
What's the biggest misconception?
They think they're writing to the person who left the review.
Wait, you aren't. If Bob from Ohio leaves a review, aren't I talking to Bob?
No, Bob is gone. Bob has already checked out. He is back in Ohio. You are unlikely to change his mind, especially if he is angry.
So who am I writing for?
You are writing for the next 1,000 guests.
The audience is the future, not the past.
Exactly. The reply is a performance. It is a piece of theater for the prospective customer who is scrolling through your reviews right now, deciding whether to give you their credit card number.
And what are they looking for?
They are looking to see, is this owner reasonable? Are they caring? Or are they defensive and, unhinged?
I have definitely seen the unhinged owner replies. They are entertaining to read, I admit, but I would never stay there.
Oh, they're great entertainment.
You know the ones? You are a liar. I checked the camera. You brought a dog in.
It feels good to write that, doesn't it, for a minute? But it destroys your revenue. That's the defensiveness is deadly stat we saw in the research. 64% of users are less likely to book if a manager sounds aggressive or defensive.
64%.
It is a massive turnoff.
Why is that number so high? Even if the owner is right, what if the guest was lying?
Because the prospective guest thinks, if I have a small problem, a legitimate problem, is this owner going to scream at me too? It signals that the owner is volatile, their liability.
But it's so hard. I'm putting myself in the shoes of an owner. You pour your blood, sweat, and tears into this business. If someone lies about you, if they say the water was cold when you know the boiler is brand new, the instinct is to fight back, to say, no, you're wrong.
It is a primal instinct, but you have to suppress it. You have to separate liability from empathy. Owners often think that if they apologize, they are admitting legal guilt.
Right.
They think if they say sorry, they are agreeing that the boiler is broken and now they're on the hook for a lawsuit.
They feel like they're signing a confession.
But they aren't. Saying, I'm sorry to hear you were disappointed is not an admission that your pipes are broken. It's a psychological bridge. It validates the guest's feeling without necessarily accepting their version of the facts.
Empathy versus admission. That is a crucial distinction.
It's everything. And you have to remember recency bias.
Okay, what's that?
Guests typically read 6 to 12 reviews before booking, and they focus on the newest ones.
The ones at the top.
The ones at the top. So if you have a bad month, maybe you had a construction crew next door making noise all of July, you can bury that bad month with a stream of fresh, positive, well-handled responses in August and September. You aren't defined by your worst review. You are defined by your latest response to it.
Okay, so we are writing for the future audience. We are being empathetic, not defensive. Now let's get into the meat of this episode, the frameworks.
Yes.
The source has provided a specific formula called the 4R formula.
The 4R formula is great because it works for almost any public reply. It stands for recognize, reinforce, redirect, and request.
Let's walk through these one by one. First, recognize.
This is simple but essential. You acknowledge the guest by name and you thank them. It validates that they took the time to write. Dear Sarah, thank you for your feedback.
So basic.
It sounds basic, but it sets a human tone immediately. It disarms the tension. If you start with, we dispute your claim, you've already lost the audience.
Okay, so recognize. Second is reinforce. This is the one I think is clever.
This is the marketing judo move. You subtly mention a positive feature in your reply, even in a mixed or negative review.
How does that work? Give me an example.
So if they say, the room was small, but the location was great, your reply shouldn't just focus on the small room.
Right.
You say, we are so glad you love the central location. You are reinforcing your unique selling point to the future guest reading the review.
So you're reminding the reader, hey, we might have small rooms, but we are right downtown. You're reframing the weakness.
Exactly. You are controlling the narrative. You are taking the spotlight off the complaint and shining it on your strength.
Okay, clever. Third is redirect.
This is where you address the negative. Do not ignore it. That's the worst thing you can do.
Why?
Because it looks like you're hiding something or you don't care. You address it with a specific fix or explanation. If the AC was broken, say, we have repaired the AC unit in that room. If you ignore the complaint, you look negligent. If you address it, you look proactive.
Okay. And finally, request.
Invite them to return or contact you directly. Please contact me at this email address so I can learn more. It shows you are open to dialogue, but it moves the conversation offline. You do not want to have a negotiation in public.
Okay, I want to see this in action. I want to try this out. Let's do some role play scenarios based on the sources.
Let's do it.
Scenario 1, the total disaster. We are talking 1 star. Dirty room, rude staff, never coming back.
Yeah.
Now, my instinct as an angry owner is to write, our staff is not rude, you were the one yelling, and the room was clean when you checked in.
Stop. Stop right there.
I know. It's hard, though.
You just lost 10 future bookings. That reply makes you look petty and unhinged.
Okay, so how do we apply the 4 R's here?
First rule, speed. You must reply within 24 to 48 hours, but you cannot fight. That is the offline pivot.
So what does the draft look like? What should I actually type?
It would sound something like this. Dear name, we are genuinely sorry your stay didn't meet our standards of cleanliness. This is not who we are. We have reviewed this with our housekeeping team immediately. Please contact me directly at general manager email so I can restore your faith in us.
Short and sweet. No fighting.
Notice what I did there. I recognized them. I didn't try to reinforce anything positive because there wasn't anything positive.
Right, that would be weird.
If I said, glad you liked the lobby when they hated the room, it would sound tone deaf or sarcastic. It would feel like you aren't listening.
Okay.
Then I redirected by saying, we reviewed this with housekeeping. That tells future guests I took action. It's a concrete step. And then I requested they contact me offline. I didn't argue. I didn't say, actually, our maid said the room was fine. I just showed future guests that I am a manager who fixes problems.
This is not who we are. That's a powerful phrase.
Right.
It separates the bad event from the brand identity.
Exactly. It frames the event as an anomaly, not the norm. It tells the reader, this was a mistake, not our standard of operation.
Okay. Scenario 2. The sandwich. This is the mixed review. Great breakfast, but the Wi-Fi was slow.
This is the most common review type. The strategy here is, don't let the negative overshadow the positive. You use the reinforce tactic heavily.
Okay, so how does that sound?
Thank you, name. We are thrilled you loved the locally sourced breakfast. Regarding the Wi-Fi, we apologize for the speed issues. We are currently upgrading our routers to ensure high-speed coverage for all our guests, especially our business travelers.
I see what you did. You used the reply to market the breakfast again. Locally sourced.
Yes, I took their compliment and I amplified it, and I addressed the Wi-Fi with a competence signal. We are upgrading the routers, even if the upgrade isn't done yet. Acknowledging the plan makes the future guest feel safer booking.
Right, it says, we know about the problem and we are on it.
Exactly. And I added, for our business guests, to signal who we cater to. It's subtle marketing.
Scenario 3. The glowing praise.
Yeah.
5 stars. Loved it. Best stay ever. The mistake here is just ignoring it or sending a generic thumbs up, right?
Huge mistake. This is an SEO opportunity. The sources emphasize this over and over. Google scans these reviews and replies for keywords.
Okay.
If you just say thanks, you are wasting free marketing space. You are leaving money on the table.
So how do we write this one to make Google happy?
Thanks, name. We are so happy you enjoyed the sunset views from the balcony and our walking proximity to the downtown markets. We hope to welcome you back.
Nah, you snuck in sunset views and proximity to downtown markets.
Exactly. I'm feeding the search engine. Now, when someone searches hotel with sunset views, my reply helps my ranking. You are reinforcing your USPs, your unique selling points to new readers.
That is really smart. You are essentially writing copy for your website, but inside the reviews.
It's the best place to do it because it feels organic. It's a third-party endorsement amplified by you.
Okay, last scenario, the one everyone dreads. Scenario 4. The fake or suspicious review. You check the records and John Doe never stayed there, or it's obviously a competitor trashing you.
Right.
You'd call him a liar.
Never use the word liar. Never accuse them directly. It makes you look crazy to the outside observer, even if you're right.
So what do?
You have to do the classy call-out.
The classy call-out. I like that. How do we execute that?
It goes like this. Dear name, we have no record of a guest under this name staying with us during the dates you mentioned. We take these matters very seriously. Please contact us directly with your reservation details so we can verify your stay and address this immediately.
Ooh, that is polite, but it signals to everyone reading, this person probably didn't stay here.
It effectively discredits the review without you looking defensive. You are saying, I want to help, but the subtext is you are fake. And on the back end, of course, you are reporting and flagging that review to the platform with your evidence. But you have to assume the public reply will stay up, so it has to be classy.
That is such a delicate balance.
Mhm.
It really is an art form. But of course, the best way to handle a bad review is to stop it from happening in the first place.
The best reply is the one you never have to write.
This brings us to part 4. Prevention and in-stay recovery. The sources talk about the LEARN framework. Now, this isn't for the person sitting in the office writing the reply. This is for the front desk staff, right? The people on the front line.
Yes, this is for the hospitality in the hallway. If you can catch a complaint while the guest is still in the building, you can often prevent the negative review entirely.
So, LEARN, what does it stand for?
Okay, L is listen. Don't interrupt. Let them vent, just nod and listen.
Simple F.
E is empathize. Validate their feelings. I can understand why that is so frustrating.
I is apologize.
I sincere regret. Not a fake sorry you feel that way, a real I am sorry this happened.
R is react.
React or rectify. Fix it. Right now. N is notify. Log in the system so the next shift knows what happened and can follow up if needed.
The react part seems to be the sticking point for a lot of hotels. The sources mention empowerment. Why is that so hard?
Because owners are afraid staff will give away the farm. They are afraid of costs. They think if I let my front desk agent give free drinks, they'll give free drinks to everyone who asks.
A legitimate fear, I guess.
It is, but it's short-sighted. Staff must have the authority to solve problems without calling a manager.
Give me an example of what goes wrong when they aren't empowered.
Okay, imagine a guest complains about a noisy room at 11 p.m. The kids next door are screaming.
Okay.
If the front desk agent has to say, I have to call my manager to approve a room move, or I can't authorize a discount for your sleepless night, the guest is going to get angrier. They feel trapped in bureaucracy. They feel like nobody cares.
Right. It escalates the situation. It turns an annoyance into an incident.
But if the agent is empowered, say, up to a certain dollar amount, let's say $100, to say, I am so sorry. Here are the keys to a suite on the quiet side of the building, and I've added free breakfast to your account for the trouble. The problem is dissolved instantly.
And the cost of that free breakfast is, what, $5 in food cost?
Versus the cost of a bad review, which could lose you thousands of dollars in future bookings. It's a no-brainer. It is the cheapest insurance policy you can buy.
The stat I saw was that 95% of guests return if the issue is resolved instantly.
Instantly. Speed is everything. If you fix it before they leave the lobby, they don't go to TripAdvisor to vent. They might even go to TripAdvisor to brag about how well you fixed it. That is the service recovery paradox in action.
So you have your hallway team using Learn and your back office team using the 4 Rs. But if you are a busy owner or a small team, you can't be staring at screens all day. We need a workflow, a system.
We need a system. If you try to do this haphazardly, you will burn out. The sources suggest a traffic light system for prioritizing your time.
Okay, red, yellow, green. Break it down for the busy listener.
Red is negative, a 1 or 2 star review. This is an emergency.
A fire.
A fire. You must reply within 24 hours. You draft it, you review it for defensiveness, maybe have a second pair of eyes look at it, and you post. This stops the bleeding.
Okay, yellow is mixed.
Mixed reviews. 3 stars, maybe 4 with a complaint. You have 3 to 5 days. You want to address the specific constructive criticism. It's important, but not a fire. You can batch these and do them a couple times a week.
And green is positive.
Green is marketing. 5 stars. You have 3 to 7 days. You use these for SEO, like we discussed. It's low pressure, but high value for long-term growth.
Now we have to talk about the robot in the room, AI. It's 2026. Everyone is using ChatGPT or specialized software to draft these things. Is that cheating? Is it dangerous?
Both.
Okay.
The sources have a very specific rule about this. It's called the human-in-the-loop rule.
What does that mean?
It means never, ever auto-post. AI is fantastic at drafting. It can take a complaint about noisy AC and draft a polite, empathetic apology in seconds. It saves a ton of time. But AI lacks nuance. It lacks emotional intelligence.
It can sound weirdly uncanny, like a corporate cyborg.
Or it can hallucinate. It might promise a refund you didn't authorize, or, and I've seen this happen, if a guest writes a sarcastic review like, great stay if you love hearing your neighbors snore, the AI might misinterpret that as a positive review.
Oh, no.
And it will reply, we are so glad you loved hearing your neighbors.
That would be a PR disaster.
Total disaster. So you use AI to generate the draft to save you the typing time, but a human must read it, edit it for brand voice, and add those specific details that prove a human is behind the keyboard.
AI for efficiency, human for empathy.
Exactly. And AI is also great for data. The sources mention heat mapping.
Heat mapping, like with weather.
Sort of. AI can look at 500 reviews and tell you, hey, 40% of your complaints mention AC noise. You might not notice that pattern reading one by one over 6 months, but the AI sees the trend instantly.
That's a diagnostic tool.
It's an amazing diagnostic tool. That tells you to fix the AC system, not just apologize for it.
That connects back to the idea of reviews as a free focus group. These people are telling you exactly what is wrong with your business for free.
Consultants charge thousands of dollars for that kind of operational audit. Your guests are doing it every day. You just have to listen.
One last tactic before we wrap up, taking it offline. We mentioned this in the 4R framework, but there's a specific rule about compensation. When do you offer money? A refund? A credit?
Never in the public review. Ever.
Why not? Doesn't it show you're generous? So sorry, here is $50.
It encourages extortion. If future guests see that you gave Jane a full refund because she complained about a towel, guess what?
Everyone's going to complain about a towel.
Everyone is going to complain about a towel, hoping for a payday. It creates a terrible incentive structure.
The copycat complaint.
Exactly. You offer the compensation in the private email or the phone call. In public, you offer solutions and discussion. In private, you offer cash or credits.
And TripAdvisor has a specific tool for this.
Yes, the private message feature. It's a hidden weapon. You can reply publicly to show the world you care, but slide into their DMs to actually fix the money side of things. It keeps your public face clean while solving the private grievance.
This has been a masterclass. I feel like I could go run a hotel right now, or at least I'll be checking the replies much more closely next time I book one.
You'll never look at them the same way again.
Let's do a quick recap, the one-page checklist for our listener.
Okay, 4 steps to survival in the review economy. 1. Check reviews daily. Make it a morning ritual. Coffee, email, reviews.
Got it.
2. Prioritize the negatives. The 24-hour clock is ticking on those red alerts.
Okay.
3. Use the 4R formula. Recognize, reinforce, redirect, request. Don't wing it. Use the structure.
And 4.
Log the feedback. Don't just reply. Fix the actual operational problem. If everyone says the coffee is cold, buy a new machine. Don't just keep apologizing for cold coffee.
Simple, actionable, and revenue protecting.
And if I can leave with one final thought, stop looking at reviews as a report card that you have to endure. That is the mindset that leads to defensiveness and burnout.
Okay.
Start seeing them as a marketing channel and a free focus group. The star rating on the screen is just a reflection of the hospitality in the hallway. If you fix the hallway, the screen fixes itself.
Fix the hallway, and the screen fixes itself.
Yeah.
That is the perfect place to end.
Oh.
Thank you for diving deep with us today.
My pleasure.
And to our listeners, go check your reviews. You might have some money hiding there. We'll see you on the next deep dive.